All right, they changed colors. It says they're live.
Yeah, lies.
Yeah.
If you would like to keep the UV off of us folks that vampires feel sorry for, donate here.
And the AC on.
AC on.
I can give a shit less about the vampires, but the AC, yes.
Are you kidding? You seen my skin? Vampires look at me and go, damn, you got sun doing you dirty, dude.
Well, both of y'all.
No kidding. If you like coffee, these guys, let them know you heard about it here. We have sent the stories, a link to the stories to Dave, and he's currently reading them. So,
and his initial response was, "These look good." So,
having interacted with Dave, that could be taken multiple ways.
Yes.
If you like smartass t-shirts, and who doesn't? tinyurl.com Among the Leaves tees.
Well, hello everybody, and apologies for what happened on Tuesday with Larry.
Go yell at Elon.
Yeah. The feedback has been, shall we say, less than positive.
Well, yeah, but it really isn't.
That's
but
nothing anybody could have done about it.
Exactly.
There is literally nothing we could have done about it. So,
and we didn't know how it was going to go until y'all tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We've had success with other people that were not on Starlink. Yeah. There are apparently people working on options for Larry. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I will say that if you guys do record a Rising Tide episode with him,
yeah,
the recording is likely to go better than the live stream, because the live stream really chews through bandwidth. So, and with a recording too, you can always edit stuff if you have to.
And plus, when not if, when I do interview him, I'm going to do it probably late at night when the atmosphere is clearer and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Larry knew he had problems on his end, but he wanted to come on with us anyway. So
yeah,
and
we couldn't make his phone work, so that
we got to see Bridget. So
yeah.
For all of 5 seconds, zing zing.
There goes Bridget.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with a friggin' rant. So this is from the pipeline.org. They're coming for your food. The World Economic Forum is at it again. And I will give you a direct quote. The food transition aims to reshape the way society produces, distributes, consumes, and discards food. A transformation that will impact the multiple mutual advancement of human and environmental health, a scale of change akin to the energy transition. Reorienting to a low-carbon economy requires intervention at every level of strategy. So, and another article says, how soon will we be eating lab-grown meat?
Somebody else might be eating it.
Yeah. Instead of a wasteful pastoralism and ranching, meat will be grown in laboratories from stem cells taken from live.
Cedar just came on point.
Cedar went.
Cedar just came on point.
We'll come back to that.
Will be grown in laboratories from stem cells taken from live animals and grown in nutrient-rich conditions. Food, in the words of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, is about to awaken from a 10,000-year slumber to become, quote, nature positive.
I can't shoot any more. I can't shoot more deer or hogs than I already am. What the hell?
This will be through the agency of fast-moving consumer goods companies who will be persuaded to get with the program.
Mm-hmm.
FMCG retailers design what we eat, how it looks, how it tastes, and how good it is for us and nature. And if you believe that shit, I got a fucking bridge for sale.
Nature, go take a hike.
Yeah.
I can't burn any more petroleum, people. Y'all need to catch up.
Yeah.
Lab-grown meat is and always will be more energy inefficient than growing meat on hoof.
Yep.
always, it will be more wasteful, it will be more polluting. I don't even know what these people are thinking and smoking and drinking, because they are not on this plane of reality.
Well, they're elites. They've never got their fucking shoes dirty.
Right, I know this, but I'm also
They're the ones that are eating the Wagyu beef.
Mhm.
They're drinking the crystal champagne,
look
eating
at
caviar.
look at Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka's government forced them to go to all organic
Yeah.
agriculture,
Yes.
and they damn near starved the entire population to death,
Yeah.
which is obviously what the elites are trying to do with the rest of the world.
Yep.
But we have Sri Lanka as a bright, shining cesspit of exemplar.
Yeah. Donner Party of 7, now seating Donner Party of 6, now seating.
Donner
Yeah.
Party of 5.
Yeah. Kermit says, "Are you a people person?"
I have just actually had this conversation. Someone innocently shared a link to an article decrying the fact that glyphosate Roundup is now allowed in some organic farming methods. And they're like, cancer-causing chemical. And I'm like, first of all,
Here we go.
well, no, it just so happens that this is one of those things that I wound up doing a lot of research on, because it's a very common myth. Glyphosate does not cause cancer. Ironically, one of the studies where they were their trials where they were actually trying to cause cancer with it, they actually reversed the growth of some tumors. I would laugh myself silly if we wound up with a chemotherapy developed out of
Roundup.
out of Roundup. But conventional agriculture is more efficient, less polluting, no less safe, or safer even than some organic agriculture. But that's the thing, is you'll hear is like, oh, organic is safer. No, it's not. Organic is more nutritious. Absolutely not.
No.
There is the only merit to organic is that somebody somewhere gets more money, because the markup on organic label is up to 200% more than conventional.
So
But it wastes more land. It's less intensive. You actually have to use more chemicals of the right approved chemicals. So it's absolutely awful as a method of producing more food, which I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but I've gotten to the point where I look at the stuff that's being pushed and I'm like, why? Why are you trying to push us in
I'm
this
a
direction?
dinosaur, and to me, organic means it contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
And I'm a chemist, and also, I mean, inorganic food would be salt.
Inorganic food would be uranium.
Yeah, but that's not food generally. Inorganic food would be
one
salt.
bite will last you the rest of your life.
AJ
All the
says,
energy you can use.
does it cause cancer any place besides California?
Well, and
Somebody needs to figure out exactly why, or the rating that the state of California uses, the process by which the state of California says that might be cancer causing.
So I've actually been in charge of having to assign Prop 65 labels to products, and it is a lengthy list.
Yes.
Very lengthy. The basis for assigning those labels is generally very slender. Sometimes only one study, and not done anytime recently. However, one good thing about this is the federal government is actively pushing back, and has been for quite some time, because over labeling causes consumer
burnout.
Exactly, burnout. I was trying to, I can't remember the exact word in the federal gut filing on this, of basically stop it, California, you being an idiot.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, well, but the thing is, I mean, there's literally a photo flying around the internet somewhere of a sign at Disneyland saying this whatever could cause cancer in
this ride could cause cancer.
In bright, pretty Disney lettering and colors. And so if it comes off a Prop 65 label,
well, you know what always gets me about California, especially LA, is they never say the air out there can cause cancer, because
it absolutely can.
That really can cause cancer.
Political stupidity causes cancer, as I can tell. But I do a lot of fishing, and hunting. Both of us do. And guns in California have Prop 65 labels. Do you know why? Because sometime in the future they might run lead bullets through there. Prop 65 because something might happen in the future. My fishing reels come with Prop C5 warnings because I might put lead weight on the fishing line.
Yeah.
Also, Atwoods, our local Atwoods, our farm and ranch store, for the longest time put not safe for California stickers on a lot of their lawnmowers, and I would go in there and I would look for the lawnmower with a not safe for California sticker on it.
Now, I will tell you a good one. Iceland, talking about fishing, will not allow rods and reels from anywhere else in the world to come into Iceland. You have to buy them there.
Really?
Because they do not want to introduce anything into their waters.
Wise.
Given the zebra mussel explosion here in Texas, I can see.
There are a number of rusty crawfish. There are a number of things. I was going to say about the lead, though. Here's the interesting thing with lead. We know lead causes problems.
Yeah.
Especially with
paint chips.
brain development in children.
Yeah.
However, what we don't know is what level of lead causes problems.
Exactly.
Right now, there is no bottom level of acceptable exposure to lead.
Yeah.
And we can now, with inductively coupled plasma, which is the most sensitive testing instrument I was ever around, never got to use it, sadly. I wanted to play with plasma. But we can detect down to incredibly small amounts, like 1 part per trillion kind of level.
Yeah.
And if you can detect lead at any level, it's considered contaminated with lead. The problem is it almost certainly doesn't do anything. I mean, it's literally homeopathic at that pollution.
Well, remember the whole saccharin thing.
Saccharin,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The amount of saccharin it took to cause cancer would have killed every mouse from overeating.
Right.
250 pounds per human was the
And that's what you have to look at is your LD50.
Yeah.
But there is no for lead. And I think there's a couple other things too, but lead for sure I know because I used to do heavy metal testing.
One of the ones for lead back in the day, one study, and this was back in the 70s, because I remember it because they were talking, because the Navy uses red lead on the ships, corrosion prevention, would have to eat the equivalent of half a paint off the house to get cancer.
Well, it's not. So with lead, it's not just cancer. With lead, it's brain development. Your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25. So young sailors that are eating paint chips, and they should not. As a mother of a young sailor, though,
spraying the paint chips in your face,
right? No,
using a needle gun.
Yeah, and that's the thing, which is now that we have a lot more sophisticated PPE, and in theory they're supposed to be using it. But it's like the case in, I think it's California, where the groundskeeper said that his lymphoma had been caused by exposure to glyphosate.
Yeah.
First of all, a civil court does not have any obligation to look to see that the science being presented to them is actually based in science and reality.
Oh, yeah.
A criminal court has standards that they must meet before it can be evidence. Civil court does not. Civil courts are all about emotion. Well, but also this was a groundskeeper that had been handling neat glyphosate in very unsafe ways for a very long time.
It's his own downfall.
Yeah.
And furthermore, even still, it probably wasn't the Roundup. It probably was a combination of all the other pesticides.
Yeah. He was probably a smoker.
Yeah.
And he'd been practically bathing in this stuff for 20 years.
Winkler Red. Not sure about the LD50 on lead cedar. Let me pull up some reference. Real quick, 68 grains.
Yeah.
Also 124 grains.
168, 172.
That might be the LD 100, but
yes, James, the magic wall candy.
Yeah. So sorry, that was soapbox under me, but it's frustrating because if there's a safety issue, you can't overplay it so far that people get completely dismissive of it.
Oh yeah. Well, Fukushima.
Mm-hmm.
I was over there a week after Fukushima happened.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not realize that. Yeah.
Nest was there. And I talked to the Nest guys. And they said I got more radiation flying over there than I did on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I introduced a whole bunch of people to the banana equivalent dose that week, and I blew a whole bunch of hippie minds.
Yeah.
Well, that's also where we can come back to the WEF and
Yeah.
the whole let's reconfigure agriculture thing, and how you know they're lying.
Yeah.
Because if they
Their
were
lips are moving.
honestly concerned about all of this, they
Yeah.
would be advocating, pushing hard for more nuclear power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have, I mean, what we're able to do with nuclear power, how we generate it, what
Yeah.
kind of waste we generate, has gotten so much better. And it's still, there's so much roadblocks and regulation, and it's damn near impossible to build a new plant.
Yeah.
So we're left relying on the old ones that really need to be upgraded and made more efficient. And I think some of them are. But you would know that these people were actually earnestly trying to be hopeful
Yeah.
if they were pushing for nuclear.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Michael, I did not realize that. I'm used to the guys being out there with the needle guns and paint chips going everywhere. I cannot imagine restricting it to handheld wire brushes on a carrier. That would take a while to
By
do
the time
anything.
you got done, it'd be time to start again.
I was just going to say that's a continuous cycle.
Yeah.
Well, Golden Gate
You never
Bridge
finish.
Yep, exactly.
They
never finishes
finish.
painting
Right.
As soon as you're done, you go back to the other end and start all over.
Yeah. because one of the guys I served with in the Navy, that's what his dad did for 42 years.
Oh, Lord.
He painted the Golden Gate Bridge for 42 years in a row.
I mean, you got to admit his office had a great view.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the what they call high walkers.
Oh, scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have an issue with heights, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's now this come up the whole thing about fluoride in water and toothpaste is popping back up on Facebook, and
Oh, yeah.
that sets my
Oh, yeah.
teeth on edge.
Well, and then that's the other thing that I wind up doing a lot of research on is food fads and medical fads. And there are a lot of them. And some of them don't do any harm. Other ones, the whole anti-fluoride thing makes me
Yeah.
twitchy.
Yeah.
Well,
The
there-
one that I came across as a cosmetic chemist was the anti-parabens thing. Because, again, if you feed a mouse a whole crap ton of parabens,
Yeah.
it does weird things to their hormones.
Yeah.
But the amount of
don't
parabens...
drink it by the 50-gallon drum.
Right. The
Yeah.
amount of parabens in your cosmetics is tiny because I
Yeah.
used to formulate those. And it is the most effective way of keeping bacterial growth out of your lotions and potions and
Yeah.
creams. Most of the natural antimicrobials, you might as well just throw a little extra water in there.
Yeah.
And so then people that are all on these nuts and granolas kicks with all the healthy stuff buy cosmetics and get gnarly infections in their eyes and other places because their cosmetics have bacterial growth in it.
Yeah.
Well, as a fair-skinned, light-eyed redhead, I'm fairly up on my sunscreen chemistry.
Oh, that's a whole other thing.
And there was a company a long time ago I loved called Ocean Potion. And Ocean Potion used, I think, avobenzone. I forget. Is that either avobenzone or oxybenzone? And it was the
Possibly
only
combination.
it was the only thing that worked.
Yeah.
On my
Mm-hmm.
Casper ass, whatever that was an Ocean Potion worked, and
Yeah.
it was good in Europe. Europe had no problem with it.
Uh-huh.
Then the granola eaters showed up, and they got a case the ass because avobenzone or oxybenzone or combination might have an impact on the reef, and you can't find Ocean Potion anymore.
No.
Yeah.
So I walk from my house to the car and I crisp.
So
Well, it's remember the baby oil idiots? Oh, the way you get an even tan is use baby oil,
right.
frying themselves.
Yes. That's been a while. So the thing with the Great Barrier Reef, which is what they were studying to show the chemical sunscreen use by Australians, because hello, fair people, lots of
Right.
beaches,
Lots of sun.
lots of sun. But the Great Barrier Reef, I've seen charts of it, and it did get really low there for a while, and then it's like
Started coming back.
came right back up, and it's now actually more. There's more reef than ever before, than
Yeah.
ever measured before. So, and it's
Well,
probably
and
a
they
cyclical
still
thing.
don't honestly know what caused it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
You know,
it could very well be a
they
cyclical
blame
thing.
the chemicals.
And I mean, we have
It's a friggin' ocean, people.
underwater volcanoes.
Yeah.
We have temperature fluctuations because climate change is a thing, not
Yeah.
just anthropogenic climate
Yeah.
change. I mean, we've been cold, we've been hot, we've been
We're coming out of an ice age, and people are shocked because we're warming
Yeah.
up.
right.
We are literally coming out of an ice age. We've been in the deep freeze. We're coming out. Oh my God, we're warming up. No shit.
Yeah.
And of course, now the whole thing with carbon dioxide. Oh, we have to do away with carbon dioxide.
Starve
That's
the
what's
trees.
keeping us cool.
Starve the trees.
Well, and that's the thing, which is that
Oh,
if you,
that's another one. Pardon me. I got to.
oh no, go ahead.
If the exhaust from vehicles is that deadly, why is there a live tree anywhere near a friggin' road? Why is there grass anywhere near a friggin' road? Somebody want to explain that one to me?
I'm not even gonna bother because it's all bullshit.
Well, and the thing is that you've got vegetation that's different lining roads because it's a disturbed zone. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with the traffic and the exhaust. You've got different plants because chances are that at some point in the near future, near past, not near
Shit
future,
falls off trucks.
well, not even shit falls off trucks. It's been bulldozed
Yeah.
to make the road.
Yeah.
And then it takes a long time for succession, but because we don't want trees going right up to the roads, we mow that.
Yeah.
So that makes the vegetation in that particular little swath different.
All I know is
But it still grows.
Yes.
up until about 10 years ago, I could buy a bottle of Ocean Potion that was 85 to 100 SPF, which I have to have.
Yeah.
And it was a light little cream that didn't make my skin crawl. Now, if I get 50 SPF, it looks like 30 weight motor oil. And I
Yeah.
can't stand putting it on my skin.
Yeah, the zinc
Yeah.
oxide
I can't.
and that's the thing, which is that there are very effective chemical sunscreens which we're not using because,
Politics.
Granola.
Yeah.
well, there's some dubious studies that show that they might have
Say it ain't so.
they might have a deleterious effect on zebrafish or something like this, some little bait fish.
Fuck, fit eater fish.
But that's the thing is that we get so reactive
Yeah.
because there's so much pop culture anti-chemical thought of, oh no, I couldn't possibly use chemicals in my garden. And I'm like, did you water your garden recently? Because
And that's another thing is the oogie boogie word chemicals. Oh my God, it's a chemical. I hate to break the news to you, Scooter. Everything is a chemical. If it ain't an element, it's a chemical. I used to get in arguments with our chief deputy over that. He'd show me he went this whole natural
God.
bullshit. And he showed me his picture one time of a whole bunch of guys in masks and goggles and white lab gear. It's like, you want to eat food produced by somebody like this? I said, not really. So tell the federal government to stop requiring people to wear that to produce the food.
Yeah.
well, and to go back to the lab meat, they'd have to be wearing get-ups like that because if you
I'm not
contaminate
eating
a vat full of meat with the slightest little bacteria thing, the whole thing's got to get chucked.
Like I read, some species are extremely resistant to stuff that will kill us. Rats can tolerate CO exposure that would kill human in a
Mhm.
fractured
Yeah.
concentration.
Yeah,
Sure.
mice are not men, and that little phrase needs to get repeated a lot
Yes.
because we do a lot of the initial trials
Of mice.
everything
Yeah.
on mice and rats.
Yeah.
I don't think we do much in the way of testing on monkeys anymore. It's very rare.
Yeah.
They're expensive and nasty, which Ian well knows.
That's monkeys anyway.
Monkey.
But a lot of cosmetic testing is no longer done on animals because of the whole anti-cruelty campaign.
Leave dogs out of it. Monkeys, fine. Go experiment all you want on monkeys. I don't care.
Pigs are probably the closest.
Pigs
Analogy.
are probably the closest. I mean, we can actually successfully transplant some pig
Yeah.
tissue into people.
Yes, especially over a hot grill
But
till it's medium rare.
Yeah.
Medium
the
rare.
limitations
Transfers
are
quite nicely.
funding and time.
Yeah.
Mice are cheap and they breed quickly, so you can get through lots of generations
Yeah.
to see effects. Whereas pigs are they're going to require a whole different facility to keep them. You can't just have zillions of cages stacked up in a room, and they don't propagate quickly enough for you to be able to see generational effects. So we wind up with mice, which are imperfect at best.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
Greg
saying,
makes a good
monkeys.
point. Modern day culture always has to find something to save and protest to demonstrate their moral superiority.
Yeah.
They will never stop trying to save something. Yeah, even when it's wrong.
yeah.
I stopped trying to save things about mid-April of 2020.
There was a meme I saw recently of if the zombie apocalypse ever happens, there will be advocates for the zombies, and I'm like,
Of course.
yeah, of course
Yeah.
there will.
No,
I mean,
I did a story a long time ago. It's in one of the steamer trunks. It was about 15,000 words, and I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Because it was something when I was in college, and I got in trouble because the bad guys in my story were the National Association for the Advancement of Carpathian Peoples, the Vampire Lobby, and the National Organization of Werewolves,
Yeah.
the Werewolf Lobby, Shape Changer Lobby. And my
please dig this out.
my English professor loved it. Said this needs to go away because the hero and his wife were battling vampire infestation and having to stave off the National Association of the Advancement of Carpathian Peoples.
Please dig this out and let's center an anthology around that concept.
I have to find it. I literally have a steamer trunk full of notebooks. Yeah. I have no idea where it is.
We're going to have to go find that.
I was going to say you've lost an entire damn steamer trunk. This is talent. This is talent.
We've got like 6 or 8 storage building, storage things.
Differ says save the algae. Jesse says save the naga. Yeah,
we did that. We did that one. Got in trouble with that one too.
Yeah.
I've run into a couple of really fun save the naga stories. And
Chris and I did that. But I had the scene where the hero and his wife were getting set to stake this vampire and got served a cease and desist order from the NAACP representative.
Oh,
how do you get the door? I'm busy.
I wrote this lovely scene. It's like, what? You've been served. What the? Cops show up, take the steak away.
Oh, not that far from reality.
Right, well, that's what makes it so funny. I mean, really good comedy. My English cop professor loved it and gave me an A, said, make this disappear. Okay.
Yeah, there are a few people around here that would help hunt those things down.
No, they're like 6 or 8 large storage. We've got like 3 houses in storage.
Yeah,
and my mother does not have anything close to minimalist in furnishings.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got like 3 houses full of stuff, and there's all these storage.
Kermit's volunteering differs. She's good at that shit.
She's never said.
The worst one I've ever seen or known of was my relief's wife's daddy. He was not a rocket scientist. He was a robot scientist who lived down in Florida, but worked all over the world and helped the Japanese build most of the robotics used in autos. And he was apparently the pack rat from hell. Literally had every document he'd ever written or read.
Yeah.
And bought a second house because they filled the first one up.
Yeah.
And the second house was down to trails from room to room to room. And the only clear space was half the kitchen. And they were getting ready to buy a third house.
Oh, no.
Well,
but he could find any piece of paper in any one of the houses.
The one I'm pretty sure it's in. If y'all have been to the blanket fort, the storage is the size of the blanket fort, only not quite as tall, and is stacked floor to ceiling, front to back with stuff. There used to be a little pathway down the middle, and then Mom filled that up. Yeah. It is literally. You have no idea.
Yeah. You got to work in a scene dealing with dihydration monoxide. And there's
Dihydrogen monoxide,
Yeah.
monoxide,
Yes.
also known as hydric acid,
Yeah.
which is the way that Naga farmers used to feed hydric acid to the Nagas in order to knock them off.
Yeah.
It was a horrible death. I'll never forget. We were in the middle of that, dihydrogen monoxide and hydric acid. And Chris is giving this extemporaneous speech about baby Nagas torn from the loving claws of their mothers and force fed hydric acid. And we look up, and the chemistry professor is coming through the crowd like a speedboat. It's like, oh shit. Hydric acid is the old word for water. You idiots, go home. Whoops.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
We had them going for a while.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. No, I think.
Well, what was it? The last year or year before they were doing the college thing with the hydrogen monoxide?
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah.
And the idiots are signing
Oh, yeah.
it by the thousands.
To ban dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah.
Because people's chemistry knowledge is rudimentary at best.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I have basically a 4-year degree in this stuff, and I still don't know all that much. But more than that, the educational emphasis in pop culture emphasis is so against any kind of chemical that they will reflexively, if it sounds chemical, then they're going to be against it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
So,
Kermit says, so you're saying the Ark of the Covenant may be in one of your mom's Africa acquisitions
probably would not
and it's
surprise me.
stuffed under a box of doilies at the you store it.
The chest, that is the big chest, hand carved teak chest, there's the center point of
the Python story.
the Python story is in storage somewhere.
A freeze hazard, burn hazard can kill with only a few ounces of ingestion. Yes. Which is why they waterboarded us with it.
Well,
I still want them to pay everybody for waterboarding because, by God, I got 3 times. They got me 3 times, and I want my money.
oh dear.
I'm not going there. Just not going there.
Yeah, it was the
We'll
snake
say
hideout area.
It took me a long time to get back to getting in the shower and have water on my face. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah.
Oof.
That still bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like being in a box. That is guaranteed to give you claustrophobia.
There are things I have realized that recently I have developed probably claustrophobia.
Yeah.
But I know there was a video popped up of this caver exploring a very tight cave, and I was like, nope, can't even do that on a video.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
My heart rate spiked, and I was like, I'm out of here. No,
Yeah.
I never used to have a problem. I mean, I've actually impromptu explored a few little caves and nooks and crannies.
I've done spelunking. I've scuba dived. I've done caving, and I'm an amateur archaeologist.
Yeah.
Very amateur. People think I'm a historian. I'm not. It's archaeology. I love archaeology. There is a recent finding, which just I realize this is very dry for y'all, but there is a cave they found in the Mediterranean that humans inhabited back during the Ice Age, where the Mediterranean was much lower.
Oh yeah, I've seen diagrams of that.
Yes, and
you have to dive to get into it.
It goes up.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And there's a long tube of water, and I forget how deep it is below the surface, but it's scuba
20
dive
feet.
to get. No, it's further down than that because it's almost
the entrance is lower.
it's
than
almost
that.
at decompression level.
Yeah.
It's almost decompression time, but you've got to swim up this narrow tube to get, and it goes up till it's above the surface.
Yeah.
And the cave paintings haven't been touched in tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it is just holy. I mean, the inner archaeologist is just squealing. I want to get my bullwhip and my hat, but then I look at that little tunnel that you not only have to squeeze through, but you squeeze through while wearing scuba gear. And nope, done.
Yeah.
I'll never see that one.
Somebody else can go there with a video camera,
Yep.
and I will enjoy the feed.
I'm never going to see that one.
Kermit, I hope you get paid for your overtime. I doubt that I'll ever get paid for my waterboarding. Yeah. If you were waterboarded in military training, you may be awarded damages. Call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe law firm today for consult.
Yeah.
If you were stationed at Camp Pendleton between the years of 1980 and 2010, you may have been exposed to crayon toxicity.
Yeah.
Call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Operators are standing by.
Oh.
Oh, God. I'm not going there.
Just throw that out there. But no, I've scuba dived, and I used to love caves. I like caves I can walk into.
Don says they found two of them.
Oh, Przewalski horses.
Yeah. One of them in Utah, confirmed by DNA. Damn.
Yeah. And like I said, people mistake me for historian, and I have studied history, but I love archaeology, which means you have to study history.
Yeah.
And I don't mind caves that I can walk. And I'll get down to crawling if I can, hands and knees. But once it starts touching my sides, we are done.
Yeah. No.
Well, Greg was talking about fitting the boxes to the people size. Now, back in the day, you got crammed in a fucking box.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2.5 by 2.5 by 3 feet. And you went in the box, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in there, depending on probably.
Przewalskis are incredibly rare and incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
And they've lost it for them. Just how do you lose something?
Because it's a horse.
It's a small, stupid horse. Well, they're all stupid.
It's
It's more stupid than normal.
Yeah.
But it's this thing's incredibly expensive. How do you lose it?
Yeah.
It's a horse.
How do you lose it?
They take off on their own.
Yeah.
No.
And they find a way to die.
El Paso Zoo has 4 of them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So there's
The rack on the sub was 24 by 18 by 74. Yeah.
I'm about to be able to ask her son.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about captivity populations and trying to rebuild a population that you can release into the wild is that you really can't do that.
Yeah.
Because simply by having a population in captivity for more than about 2 generations, you have changed their genetics.
Yep.
Which is not to say that they can't change back. However, the reintroduction period is going to be really rough.
Yeah.
You're going to have a high loss rate, and you may have a loss of reproductive capability.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I hit on doing some research, and it really made me perk up and go, what?
Yeah.
When I realized that you could see visible adaptations in a captive population in as little as 8 generations. And then I went looking and started finding the stuff on epigenetics and how you can see adaptation in as little as 2 generations.
Yeah.
But 8 for sure.
Yeah.
And which has, with your Przewalski horses, if you can breed up enough population to try and reintroduce them somewhere, which I'm not even sure where in the world you would, that there wouldn't also be an active predator population that would go, oh, yum, dumb horses.
Yeah.
And I really do understand the fluffy bunny huggers because they're cute and they're charismatic critters. And
Bunny huggers
save them.
Bunny huggers? I don't want to save them.
No, that's what they are trying to do with the endangered animals is that they want to save them from becoming extinct. And I understand the emotion behind that. And you'll notice that it's generally stuff that's cute and charismatic.
Yeah.
Nobody's worried about a wasp.
Yeah. Don says, anyway, the mare and the stud that they found are at 2 different locations, rescues, one in Utah, one undisclosed location, are now named Shrek and Fiona.
Well, hopefully they can introduce one another.
Yeah.
Eddie, didn't you call horses nature's killing machines? No, I called them nature's dying machines.
Yeah.
Because a horse will wake up, oh, look, it's Tuesday. I'm going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick.
Oh,
Rick
what
says,
the hell? It's Wednesday. Oh, I don't die.
Rack on the sub was 24 by 18 by 74, which is bigger than the rack on the Coral Maru, which was 24 by 18 by 72. But on the Japanese subs, they're 24 by 18 by 60.
My son will have a little bit of space on an American sub because he's short. He got my genes. I'm
He's short, but
5'2",
he's wide. He's
and-
going to have problems
yeah,
turning over.
Yeah, I know, but
Clunk.
he's only 5'8",
Clunk.
or
Well, you
whether
turn
he
over in
stays that short, I
stages.
don't know.
Clunk.
Yes, yes, you do.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's still fairly solid.
No, you roll over in stages.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You don't have enough shoulder space.
you
There's not enough clearance.
yeah, you. I still do that today,
Mm-hmm.
just like Rick does.
Mm-hmm.
In a king size bed, I'm sleeping on about that much of the bed.
I do that because I've got Rita and 2 dachshunds.
Well, that's your own damn fault.
I get about that much of my side of the bed. I've got Rita, who's gets hot, and I've got dachshunds that are like,
Yeah.
I have 2 cats that have decided that our bed is the place to sleep, but they don't like each other, so they can't be too close.
So they're on opposite sides.
One of them's generally on one side of me, and the other one's on the other side. It makes it very difficult to move.
but nope.
Yeah. Nature's perfect assassins.
Nature's perfect assassins. Would that be what?
Nature's perfect assassins, wasps,
Ferrets.
Wasps.
ferrets.
Ferrets, yes,
Weasels.
weasels in
Yeah.
general. Oh my
Mu-
goodness,
mustelids.
wolverines.
Mustelids, just
Yeah.
mustelids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what I meant to bring over to show you. I have an old version I found of Ernest Thompson Seton's Two Little Savages.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, so it's
Ew.
completely politically incorrect. But Ernest Thompson Seton was an interesting fellow. He was a naturalist, and he wrote children's stories, often from the perspective of the creature. A couple of them were actually foxes, and they were like stories of the
I like this
foxes.
already.
Yeah.
But he was writing back in the Victorian era. And Two Little Savages I really like because it's a couple of little boys that are playing an Indian
Yeah.
very seriously. And they get help from various adults that teach them how to do things like build a teepee, build a fire, build a war drum, bows and arrows.
Sounds like what we need for the
yeah,
Fox Cubs Adventure Club.
and
Yeah.
that's what I was going to show you is he also did his own illustrations.
Yeah.
And just these wonderful little scribbly pen and ink illustrations that are so evocative while being very minimal actual
Yeah.
drawing. Which is, I have a copy of the book, but it's a modern copy. So when I came across the Victorian era copy, I picked it up.
Yeah.
I like to compare the two, see how they've changed.
Yeah. Hey, Raptor, welcome.
Dover Books does a really good
Yeah.
job, or used to, of being an exact reproduction.
Yeah.
That's why the Dover reproduction books have been so perennially popular.
Be careful, Sir Brass. Get home before the weather hits.
But it's a lovely tutorial for a little boy that wanted to go out in the woods
Yeah.
and play at being an
And
Indian
that's kind of right in our
learn how to
wheelhouse.
track and stuff. And it would get slammed as racist these days because
Oh,
of
yeah.
some of the terminology in it. But on the other hand, it definitely leaned into Rousseau's Noble Savage, but
Well,
it's also
yeah,
from
absolutely.
little boy perspective.
Well,
So,
Little boys in the Victorian age, and believe it or not, they were just as protective of their kids back then as we are now.
Yeah.
more so, I think.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and so ones that survived being born were
Exactly.
pretty precious.
Yeah.
Yes, Don, your puppies are special. We know that.
I've got dachshunds. They're about that tall. They're about that high off the ground, but they're about that long. So when they're in bed, are they lengthwise? So they're itty bitty feet and itty bitty bottom? No, they have to go from tail to tongue.
Crossways.
I felt bad because before I moved into his life, Sanford's dog Trixie slept with him, and
Rick just pulled out his pulled out my father's copy printed in 1911, personalized to his father, aunt, and uncle by ETS.
wonderful,
wow.
Rick.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome.
Bag that one.
Yeah. Oh, those things are just family heirlooms.
Hang on to that one, Rick.
Yeah. I have recently been. There's
That is
a big
fantastic.
3-story antique mall in Wichita Falls. And I've been hitting it because there's a book dealer there that I thought she just had one booth. No, the lady has like 6 scattered across the building. It's wherever they had openings for her.
Oh.
And if you go in and you catch her and you have a stack of books you're going to buy, she'll give you a deal.
Yeah.
But I've been buying the really old editions of some of the children's books because they change these things.
Yeah.
And I discovered that when I was doing the read alouds, the recordings that I did for YouTube of the Kipling's children's stories, even the Project Gutenberg on the free online version was missing a story. It wasn't until I pulled out one of my first edition, first American edition, or not first editions, that I found that I had a missing story. And recorded that.
Have you looked for Uncle Remus?
I have an Uncle Remus book.
Recently?
I can't read aloud and record Uncle Remus because I cannot do that accent.
Well, we know people can do the accent.
I know. Sanford and I were talking about it. Sanford can't cold read well enough to pull it off. But I have a book that I picked up, same antique mall, of Uncle Remus stories, and there are some crackers in there.
I would like to look at that on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I'll bring it over.
Dawn.
Oh no, you're coming to my house. It's dinner at my house.
Rita is bringing a Cave City watermelon, which Rita maintains are the best watermelons.
Sweet watermelons.
Nice.
So I will probably bring it over and stick it in your fridge, get nice and cold for Saturday.
Sounds like a plan.
She'll be here sometime.
We're traveling to Hawaii for this meal because I had picked up a couple of Hawaiian cookbooks. So I'm doing. I did huli huli chicken not long ago, so I'm going to do a chicken adobo and macaroni salad.
Chicken adobo is Hawaiian?
It's not Hawaiian, but it's in one of the recipes in the Hawaiian cookbook that I picked up recently.
Sweet.
There's recipes. It's an old Junior League of Hawaii cookbook from
chicken adobo is basically Philippine, right?
Yeah,
it is.
But there's
I've always seen Mexican places.
No, it's definitely Filipino.
Yeah.
And so I just went through this cookbook and picked out some fun stuff to plan the meal. So
the 4 times children's books, how to build a fort, modern children's books. Fish is a rainbow, and you have to see the rainbow at the end. Yeah, that's pretty much true, Difford.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have the Osprey children's books here?
No.
That's as bad as the friggin' owner's manuals for vehicles today.
Well, they did away with the children manuals.
Yeah.
They don't publish them anymore.
But I can remember manuals back when I was first started driving in the 60s that actually had practical shit in it.
Yeah.
Now it says don't lick the fucking battery.
Well,
I remember with a children manual, you could literally take the car apart, down the component parts, put it back together.
It's like my 2024 Hyundai Venue. The owner's manual will tell you to go look at the website for whatever, because I was trying to figure out how to turn something on. Only it turns out that even though the salesman said that my car has this, it probably doesn't have that. And it wouldn't be the only thing that he said that about. So a
car salesman lied to you.
Yeah.
What is this world coming to?
Right?
Kermit, that would work great. Give us about an hour's notice. That way we can scatter before you get here. They're coming in this summer.
They'll be here the 14th, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne racked up my blood pressure because he likes doing that. By informing me what our friends for. The 2025 Dodge Ram, or apparently it's just a Ram now, Ram truck. You cannot, there's no dipstick for the oil. They got rid of the transmission, the tranny fluid. Can I say tranny fluid?
Yeah.
Transmission fluid dipstick a couple of years ago, but now you can't check the oil.
Yeah.
You have to look at the gauge, or no gauge.
Well, mine.
Or take it to the dealer.
Mm-hmm. Mine, I bought it and it came with the first 3 years worth of oil changes are free, but they don't do oil changes but every 7,500 miles.
Yeah.
And the dealer sent me a postcard saying, hey, at 5,000 miles, your car should come in for an oil change. So I called the schedule and they're like, oh no, that's wrong. Just throw it away. We don't see you until you're at 7,500 miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Michael Haynes and Chilton's manuals were the 2 big ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I owned a couple of those for.
And then of course my grandfather
various vehicles.
had the actual factory manuals from Studebaker.
Oh, those would be collectibles, I'll bet.
I remember.
I wish I still had those.
Back when I still changed my oil, I don't do that. But I had a 4-cylinder Ford Ranger, 1994. Love that thing.
Yeah.
And I did the oil change in it. And I remember getting out and popping the dipstick.
Yeah.
After I pulled the filter off, I
Yeah.
popped the dipstick to make sure it drained.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Brian, you of all people need to have the Haynes manuals for both of yours.
Yeah, no kidding.
I can remember a buddy of mine out in California built a 1957 Bel Air 210. He got his hands on the factory assembly manual from GM.
cool.
He would never say where he got a copy, but he built a 1957 Bel Air 210
Mhm.
out of OEM parts.
Cool.
Complete car, soup to nuts, whole 9 yards,
Hmm.
assembled per factory specifications.
Yeah.
He completed it in 1998. They titled it as a 1998 Chevrolet.
Well, that's going to confuse somebody
It
down
was
the line.
assembled in 98.
He got pulled over going to a car show.
And here's the confusion.
And forged documentation.
That's exactly what the cops wanted to get him for.
No.
Said the car does not have a VIN. This is registered as 1995 vehicle. It's obviously not a 1995 vehicle. This is a 1957. Where'd you steal the plates from?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's calling us going, guys, I'll be there sometime. Either that or I might need bail money before this is over.
I've already decided as far as cars go, vehicles go, and Reed and I sat down and decided that once these crater, we're not getting anything that's newer than 2018.
Yeah.
Because no.
I want to go back to 60s vehicles because those I can still work on. And I've got the tools for it. And I actually remember how to do timing lights.
I wish Royal Purple would get their oil back online. That's the only oil I used to use was Royal Purple, and I like his teeth trying to find Royal Purple anymore.
Yeah, good luck with that. There's a lot of things that we used to have that you don't have anymore.
I had that 94 Ford Ranger, and I changed the oil on at 5,000 mark with Royal Purple, and if I hadn't tried to assault an 18-wheel Peterbilt with it, I'd probably still have.
Yeah.
Ford Ranger was not a big truck.
Nope.
The best thing you could do out in your neck of the woods is find something out in a field somewhere and drag it back and let the kids put it back together.
Maybe a great learning
Yeah.
experience for their kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with Johan, he was given a car that he had for the last year that he lived with us, and he did some work on it.
Yeah.
But I have absolutely no mechanicking knowledge or
Yeah.
experience, and neither does Sanford really. I mean, Sanford could mess around. I've seen him do impromptu fixes in vehicles for whatever reason. But neither of us could really help him a whole lot because it's kind of a dying art.
Yeah.
You
ought to hear Wayne. Wayne loves cars. Wayne loves cars the way I love guns, and he can work on cars like I can guns. And you want to get Wayne wound up. Talked about right to repair laws.
Oh God, yes.
And then stand back.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the reason that it's a dying art of kids mechanicking around in cars, because cars have gotten so unfriendly to being fixed
not
easily.
only that, there are no longer factory mechanics, and a lot of people don't know the history behind that.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was a factory mechanic at Studebaker until the plant closed. They would design a car, and it came to him to see if it could actually be worked on by a mechanic in the field.
Oh, that's nice.
If it couldn't, they went back and had to redesign the car.
Right.
That's smart.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Now, they design a car. There's no mechanic that ever looks at it until it gets in the field.
Yeah, it's all done on computer.
Try changing a headlight bulb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard the stories.
There are vehicles that you have to take the entire front end off to change a headlight bulb.
Mm-hmm.
When I had to pull the fender to change a battery,
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
was-
Yeah.
Wayne,
Yeah, I've still got my timing lights. I've got my gaffers for not only the tappets, but also to gap the timing, to gap the points, the condenser, all that shit. Actually, if you're really desperate, a matchbook cover is exactly 35 thousandths, which is perfect for gapping the points if you're ever desperate.
And if you can find a matchbook.
Yeah, you do have a point there too.
I've got a
No, you do not want anything mid 1980s with electronic carburetor. They are
uh,
pieces of shit.
if you wet shave with
Oh god.
safety razors,
Yeah.
sooner or later you're gonna need an alum stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Italians make these basically they call them alum matches, and it's a matchbook.
Yeah.
With these, it's the same like a matchstick, only it's a little head of potassium aluminate on the top that you stop the weight.
Yeah.
And I've got one at the house that doesn't have a cover on it because somebody, Wayne, needed a matchbook, and we couldn't find one, so I had to rip the cover off of my alum stick so he could have a matchbook.
Wah. Yes, I can remember starting vehicles with a screwdriver across the across the solenoid more than once, whether there was a key available or not in a couple of cases.
I've started more than one quarter-ton Jeep in
Oh, Greg, that's another one.
unofficial and probably not very safe ways.
Yeah. Selling cars with no friggin' spare tire in them.
Oh, don't get me started.
Mm.
Don't get me started.
That boggles my friggin' mind.
It used to be I would lose my mind because every car you got had a donut in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't even have a spot for donut anymore.
No.
And that's when we were trying
Now
to
I'm
find.
wondering if mine has a spare. I don't remember if we checked or. I don't
It's-
remember if they
what?
showed me my car when I bought
Uh,
it. I don't remember.
Cedar.
There
I
was.
just don't remember. It's
I was
been a while.
looking when I was trying to replace the GMC when the GMC shit to bed and I was trying to replace the GMC. I wanted a Ford Maverick.
Yeah.
And it's a pickup, people. So I was just, hey, where's the spare tire? Oh, doesn't have one. What?
Yeah.
Hey, it's the roadside assistance is included in your.
Yeah.
What the hell's roadside assistance?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a problem, sir, you just call this number. No. Where's the spare tire? Well, sir, nobody changes tires anymore. Like,
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me. You've
Oh no.
got to be kidding me.
Well, it's like that idiot I saw at United that day with a Mercedes-Benz GL 350, whatever the frick it was, SUV, pulled up at the gas pumps with the air right there and was calling roadside assistance to come put air in his tire because he didn't know how. But he was preppy.
We're not going to
He
survive.
had the right shirt on. I'm sure he had the boat shoes, probably the right khaki pants,
We're not going to survive.
and the haircut. No.
Oh, I have learned that my left eye is even worse than I thought it was.
No, we're not following the Alec Baldwin trial. That son of a bitch is going to walk.
Oh yeah. Julie Pascal was selling a gun. It had a lovely Holosun green dot sight on it. So I was
Except it was a friggin'
FN45.
FN45, which I can't stand.
Anyway, so I'm playing with it, and I brought it up on my left eye, and there's just a green blur out there. Brought it up on my right eye, which is not my dominant eye, and I can still see it. So I didn't expect my eye to go that bad that quick.
Yeah, I just had to have an eye exam. And so, word to the wise, if any of y'all want to go in and get a complete prescription to include your pupillary distances measured so that you can go and buy glasses at a reasonable cost, do not go to an optometrist that also sells glasses because they won't give you your full prescription.
Nope.
Seriously?
No, they want to.
Which one did
They're
you
like,
go to?
Oh gosh, I don't
Haley?
remember. Yeah, Healy. And so I had to. There's ways. There's apps for measuring your pupillary distance.
Yeah.
And because the inexpensive version of glasses they were recommending to me was going to be $800 to get bifocals because my eyes had gotten to that point. And I was like, let me have my prescription and thank you very much. And I went on to Zenny where I usually order my glasses and I got a pair of stuff that actually had more because I got the photo gray stuff for $80 because it's insane. But what I used to do in years past was I had a little old fellow that I would go to that didn't have the whole attached, I'm going to sell you the two super expensive glasses, and he would give me the full prescription, everything that I needed in order to order properly made glasses.
Haley's mine. They always give me my full thing.
With your PDs?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, you might want to check that.
Yeah, I might want to. I need to go anyway because, like I said, I brought that green dot up,
Mm-hmm.
and green dots are real bright, and it was just it was a green smear.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shit.
I mean, I recognize that it's valid that when you're ordering glasses online, it's kind of a crapshoot as far as how well they're going to work for you. But when I can order an $80 pair of glasses, I can afford to order another one if the first one's screwed up.
Right.
Yeah, well,
versus $800 pair of glasses.
And Don makes a good point. It is medical information. They cannot refuse to give it to you. They are required by law to give it to you under HIPAA.
I didn't even think about asking for it. They gave me my prescription and I didn't notice right away, but I definitely won't go back there.
I wouldn't either.
I don't have health insurance right now, so because of the job I'm in, so I'm paying cash for everything, which most places will give you a decent discount for cash, which is nice. So I can afford to do a visit, but I can't bloody well afford an $800 pair of glasses.
Yeah.
And even if I did have health insurance, if helping me with that cost, it would still only be a certain percentage. I'd be on the hook for the rest of it. So that's an outrageous markup.
Yeah, it is.
So, but yeah.
Well, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time. Sorry.
Holy crap, we have.
Been multiple rants today.
Oh, wait. Jim Totten. He has a book out. Give me just a second.
Is it out already? That was quick.
We were going to talk about it.
Just did the cover.
We were going to talk about it, and I forgot.
I mean, I can tell you what's on the cover.
South Korean Blues.
Yeah.
No, South Korean Blues is the last one.
What's a good prescription band? What I would recommend for prescription shooting glasses is Wiley X.
Wiley X is excellent, but you're going to pay for it, but Wiley X is good. South Korean Blues, Brent, was his last book. He asked me to talk it up. We just did.
Yep.
It's a good book. I did some editing on it.
Yeah, he did.
Jim is getting better.
Yeah. He does a really interesting, almost kind of Tom Clancy-esque multiple timelines or multiple points of view on the same kind of incident thing.
Yeah.
I do his covers for him. So the other thing we should talk about is actually a Rack Press thing, which is Super Generations is closing.
Yes,
quick now.
If you've got a Super Generation story, bearing in mind that we have this is one of our more narrow calls.
Themes, very specific.
Very specific, a one-time event, and superheroes only created in that one time, and they're aging out. So if you want to fit, send it.
It closes tomorrow at midnight. And when you ask which midnight wherever you are.
Your midnight.
That's how we do
fine, Wally. Just rub it in. We don't care.
Meat Faucet.
He's going to Fogo de Chao. Asshole. Happy anniversary, asshole.
Happy anniversary, Wally and Michelle.
Yeah, well done.
32 years.
Awesome. I saw their wedding picture earlier. It's beautiful.
I haven't been to Fogo de Chao, but I do love me some Texas de Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, folks, remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Stay cool.
Y'all be safe.
Chill out. We'll get there.
It's all good.
Y'all take care. Be safe. We'll see you next week. Bye.
You go to the Meat Faucet, you will be the sweaty stuff.